All right, in today's video, I'm going to walk you through what quality score is and how to improve it in Google Ads campaign. Now, a lot of companies make a big deal about quality score, and they think it's the be all and end all of metrics in Google Ads, and it's really not. Quality score can definitely help a campaign, and it can also definitely make it worse if it's not good. But that being said, it is a metric. It should be looked at, but it's not the be all and end all. The be all and end all is how much money did we make at the end of the day. How much profit? That's it. You shouldn't get too caught up. Same as cost per click. Like, oh, we want a really low cost per click, but they're willing to sacrifice, quality of leads for a low cost per click. It really depends how much money are we making at the end of the day. That's it. But that being said, quality score is a very important metric to look at. And essentially, what quality score is how much does Google like your ad? In the simplest terms, it's that. And Google dictates this through a few ways. Essentially, Google comes up, and I've taken this all straight from Google. I didn't want to interpret it. A lot of the videos I do, I come up with a script and I change it to my tone of voice just because I prefer reading things like that, and it comes off more naturally. I've taken this straight from Google because I wanted it to be exact. I'm not interpreting anything here. This is exactly how Google calculates it, and I thought this would be the best way to go about that. So essentially, expected click-through rate, and this is not your current click-through rate. It's important to know that. It's from past results, what has Google seen, and how likely is your ad to be clicked on when someone is scrolling through Google search? And this is why we A/B test ads. This is why we always try to get a higher click-through rate, and it's because it will lead to a higher quality score, which will generally lead to a lower cost per click, which leads to a general lower cost per lead, which means more profit at the end of the day. Very important to get a high click-through rate. That's why we A/B test ads. Ad relevance. Now, I'm just going to pair the, you know what, I'll leave them separately. Ad relevance is when someone types in a keyword. So let's say it's HVAC repair, and then your company let's say furnace repair, and then your ad is AC repair. Those two different things, those two things are different. Yes, they could be applicable, but they're not the same. And it's very important that when you're coming up with ads, that they're in their own ad group and they're targeting specific keywords and everything is relevant. So the keyword is relevant to the actual ad copy, and the ad copy is relevant to the landing page. This is what we call message match, and it's very important you get these three things lined up. If they're not, the customer is more likely to leave and not click on your ad, leaving you with a lower quality score. The next thing is the landing page experience. Make sure your landing page is easy to navigate. It's simple. There's a call to action. It's mobile optimized. Everything is good on there. If the experience is good, generally that helps quality score. If you have a bad landing page or you send traffic to just a general website, you're going to negatively affect your quality score. Another important thing to note is the actual quality score itself can be based on several things. So, say you're targeting computers, tablets, and mobile devices. Each different device can have a different quality score. The location of the user. So say what they prefer one city over another city, and they'll give you a higher quality score in one city. The time of day, the ad extensions being showed, all of these things can create different quality scores. So find if your quality score is like a 1 or a 2, that's an issue. But if it's 7 and 8, that's good. But if it ranges, like don't be too caught up in like, oh well, in this one it was a 6 as opposed to a 7. There's a lot of different factors that come into play here, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Take it with a grain of salt. Don't put all your eggs into one basket and try to just max out quality score. At the end of the day, it's profit. Please keep that in mind. One more thing about interpretations of quality score is it's based on historical impressions. So your landing page, and Google can't make impressions off future guesses. It's basing everything on previous results. So if you change your ad copy one day and your ad quality score doesn't just boost up overnight, it's because Google is going from previous history, and it goes, well, that ad got a 2% click-through rate, we'll give it a 5. And this is all hypothetical, we'll give it a 5 in the ad quality score. But then you put a new ad in and it gets an 8% click-through rate. Don't expect overnight for that ad quality score to change, because they're just meshing all of this in. So it'll take the average, but it's not going to just instantly go, oh well, now it's a 8% click through rate, we're just going to go with that. It takes everything, and that also includes your your ad relevance, so the keyword, the ad copy, and the landing page, all that message match, and the landing page experience. It's all previous history, so please keep that in mind when understanding your own quality score in your account. Now, if you're interested in checking out your actual quality score, you can come over to your ads account. You're going to hit search keywords, you're going to hit columns, you're going to scroll down to quality score, you're going to hit quality score, and then hit apply, and then that will add it to your actual campaign, and you'll see the quality score. This is a demo account, it doesn't have any history, and it does take a while for Google to actually give you a quality score, so it's not there in the first couple days. That's why it needs a little bit of time. The next thing I wanted to talk about is what quality score can actually affect inside your account. It can affect a lot of things, and this is why we stress on ad copy, constantly A/B testing, making sure your message match is up to par, where your keyword aligns with the ad, with the landing page, and making sure your landing page experience is good for the customer, making sure it's mobile optimized. These things are very, very important because they'll affect multiple things. I'm going to go over them here. Whether or not your ad can show. If you have a terrible click-through rate, Google might just decide not to show your ad, plain and simple. And then you're out of business because you can't get any, leads. Another thing is where you rank in terms of search when your ads do pop up. Are you ranking number one, or are you ranking in the very bottom section where no one ever goes? And that is determined on quality score and how much you're willing to pay cost per click. But if your quality score is absolutely terrible, it really doesn't matter how much you're paying per click, because Google will just understand that this isn't relevant to the or this isn't relevant to the person searching for this keyword. I'm not going to show it. I would rather not get any money than make a bad experience for our customer or our user using Google. Another thing is Google Ads extensions. And this is one of the things that once you get your campaign rolling, click-through rates generally become higher because Google understands, like, this is a good ad, let's show more, more, and more. And they'll expand your ad, they'll show more extensions because they understand that the consumers like the experience they're getting when they click on your ad. So why not give them more ability to click on their ad, give them multiple ways to contact you through the extensions, or to see more of your ad. Maybe they'll like it more. And that's one of the things that quality score can affect. Another thing is how much you pay per click. And a lot of people say, well, click-through rate doesn't affect cost per click. But in a way it does, which is if you have a low click-through rate, it lowers your quality score, which then affects cost per click, which then affects lead costs, which then affects how successful your campaign is. And it's all interconnected. And a lot of people don't realize that. If you're willing to pay more per click than another advertiser, but your quality score is lower than them, chances are they'll show up ahead of you. Even though you're willing to pay more, because Google knows their ad is better than yours and they'll show it instead of yours. So it's very important you're A/B testing these ads, you get everything correct. And another thing is how your ads perform in general. Like if Google gives you all these things, but if Google doesn't like the ad, chances are it's not going to perform well, and your whole campaign is not going to be successful. Things ad quality score doesn't really affect. These are things that, account structure, of course, it doesn't affect. Frequency of your ads, I would argue against that, just because if Google doesn't like your ad, they're not going to show it. And I think this is kind of a workaround for Google. It's like, oh yeah, we'll technically show it, but we'll show it on the second page, and technically you were still there, right? So I wouldn't agree too much with that. Conversions reported, yeah, that would have nothing to do with quality score. And bidding, it does affect bidding because you could get a lower cost per click if you have a higher quality score. So I don't really agree with the bidding, and I don't agree with the frequency of the ads, but the other two things, they have no effect on. Quality score does affect a large portion of your campaign. Please take it with consideration, though. It's not everything, but it's important. You should be on top of it. Now, 5 ways you can improve quality score. So, like I said, quality score is determined by expected click-through rates, ad relevance, and landing pages. If you A/B test your ads a lot, you get winners. Chances are you're going to have a decent quality score. The next thing is make sure the message match is relevant to the keywords. So if you have HVAC furnace repair and then your ad copy is HVAC furnace repair, do you need a tech? We have techs on standby. Get a free quote now. And then your landing page is HVAC furnace repairs near me, and then a call to action. And these are all the reasons like that we're better than our competition and how we can solve your problem. And then a click to call or click to email. If this is all lined up, chances are Google's going to like your ad, they're going to give you a higher quality score and things will be good for you. That being said, also make sure your landing page is up to par. Make sure it's simple, it's easy to understand, it's mobile optimized. All of these things, if they're lined up, chances are you're going to get a really decent quality score and you shouldn't really have that many issues. Now, quality score used to have defined metrics. I don't know if it still does. I don't think it does. And it's really up to the discretion of Google. But essentially, a 5 meant that you weren't paying more and you weren't paying less for a click. If you have a quality score of 1, Google is going to, and what they call Google tax you. So you're going to have to pay way more per click to stay in like just an average position than if you had a decent or normal quality score. If you have a good quality score, so say a 9 or a 10, your cost per click is going to be exponentially lower because Google likes the ad and it's going to keep showing it. So that's something to know. I like to stay in between 5 and 10, somewhere in there, 7 or an 8. Very good. But if it's a 6, if it's a 9, these things are, acceptable, especially in certain keywords, and especially in certain markets where maybe the click-through rate just for that industry isn't very high. People don't like ads in it. There's Everything is really dependent on your specific situation. So please keep that in mind. Like I said down here, I'm just going to go over make ads more relevant to the keywords. Like I said, message match. If you have a keyword that says pool installation, don't make the ads about pool cleaning. Message match, very important. Trying to improve your click-through rate. Another thing I have gone over. Make sure you're A/B testing your ads, making sure you're making the ads specifically to solve your customer's problem. Don't make it about why you're so great and boast about your company. Consider updating your landing page. Yep, make sure it's easy to use, it's mobile optimized, it's simple, it's not overly complex, it doesn't have 45 calls to action, it's got 1 or 2 at the most. Make sure it loads fast, that's another thing. And this is another thing, this Google going over quality score, and essentially it could be other metrics. It's like, yeah, either your ads suck, your landing page sucks, or something else sucks, and that's why you have a low quality score. And that's essentially what you should be looking at when you're trying to improve quality score, which is the message match good? Is the ad good? Is the keyword relevant to the landing page and the ad? All these things, if you get them right, chances are you'll have a good quality score. So hopefully that goes over how to improve quality score and what is quality score and how important it is to your campaign. Yes, it is important, but it is one of the metrics you should look at in determining success of your campaign. Hopefully that answers the question. If you have any comments, concerns, leave them down in the description below. I'd love to answer them. Other than that, you guys have a phenomenal day and take care.